Searching, solving mysteries in the night. Chasing shadows, finding answers, shining bright light. No one's left behind in the darkness, all alone. With a heart like a siren, she brings the lost ones home. Silent cries in the dark no longer have to be, for justice wheels keep turning, granny on the beat. Broken voices find their power, call out hope again. When these crime busters run, no victims left in vain. Bravery in her veins, truth she won't disguise. With a fire in her eyes, she's got nothing to deny. Granny fights for justice, never backs down from the call. For the voiceless and the missing, she'll stand tall.
Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing? I hope you're all doing well. Wonderful day, huh? Hello, Ginger Girl, K9. Good to see you, my lovely mods. So today we are going to review one of our favorite creators' channels. But before we get into that, we'll show our spotlight on the Missing with Granny. We have Christian Isaiah Hallowell. He's been missing since yesterday, guys. Last seen in Virginia Beach, Virginia. He's 17 years old. Christian was last seen wearing a white Nike windbreaker and black shorts, his curly hair, and a scar over his left eye. If anybody knows where Christian is or anything about his disappearance, please call Virginia Beach, Virginia Police Department or 911. We need to bring our kids home. Don't forget about Jonathan Wang. Last seen March 30th, 21-year-old autistic young male, high functioning, but he isn't able to really take care of himself, guys. If anyone knows his whereabouts, please call the Arlington PD or his dad. The number is on the missing persons flyer. It's important that he's brought home. Don't forget that Travis Ducker is still on the loose, guys, for red rum and kidnapping of his 3 daughters. Horrific thing his wife is going through. I did just read somewhere that they had a GoFundMe and they've raised a lot of money for those girls' funerals. So I'm really thankful about that for the mom. She's going through so much. I can't even imagine what she's dealing with. Sad story. Hello, wild. I was Brenda Joe, wild child. Hello, Lacey, if you can hear me. So, we are actually going to be talking about some accusations that Mr. Yummy is saying about Daniel Martell. Now, just because I'm showing this does not mean they're not my words, okay? So let's just say that, right? I'm still kind of on the fence, but I am leaning because I'm seeing a lot of red flags for Daniel Martell. But let's go ahead. I'm going to share the screen. And the title of it is It Just Got Way Worse. So let's go ahead and hear what Mr. Yummy has to say.
Didn't attend the vigil. Martell says the grief has been overwhelming and online speculation hasn't helped. especially for their daughter that still lives with her.
Put your focus outward around Malaya and toward the kids. Don't attack Malaya, because her mental health is, it's going to be reflected on her daughter. So I don't want anyone attacking Malaya anymore.
Don't upset my girlfriend or she'll take it out on the baby. That's more than just manipulation. It's emotional blackmail with a veiled threat of child abuse, which is especially concerning coming from someone whose stepchildren have been missing for over a month. So in today's video, let's watch this recent.
I do agree with Mr. Yummy that she hears me. That was, in my opinion, a mean thing for Daniel Martell to say. To say that she would take it out on their daughter Meadow, who is 16 and somewhere between 16 to 18 months old. I've heard different stories, but that's an awful thing to say, I think. And all we have is his word that she's mentally unstable. We saw an interview with her. She didn't look mentally unstable. Of course, that kind of thing can be hidden, but still, we don't have any proof of that. He's the only one saying that. And the only other one that said that was Bio Dad's grandmother. And the only reason I believe that she said that is because Daniel told her that ever since they had Meadow, Malaya has been ignoring Lily and Jack, and it's all about Meadow. We don't know that that's true either. We don't know any of that. Guys, I think we learned our lesson in the Sebastian Rogers case. When there are red flags in a person's statements, not to take anything that they say as fact. And very quickly we learned not to trust Katie and Chris, didn't we? Because there were so many inconsistencies and red flags in their statements. We couldn't legitimately take anything they said as fact. And I'm starting to think that's the case here as well. Hello, Neural. It's hoovering, a classic term used at narc shoes. Yeah. Yeah, it's a nasty thing to say about the mother of your child and a woman you claim to love. Oh, I want her back, right? I don't know. That's a really cruel thing to say. If any of my husband's partner, exes had ever said anything like that about me, I would have been irate. But yet she's being quiet. She's not defending herself, guys. Why? She just wants it to be about Jack and Lily. We've heard she's lawyered up. That's fine. She may need to be, considering what's being said about her out here by none other than her own partner. All right, let's continue on.
CTV interview with Daniel Martell and see what else we can learn about him, because he's finally starting to show his true colors. I'm Deception Detective, an attorney trained in statement analysis. This channel exposes lies and manipulation, so if that's your thing, hit subscribe. For exclusives, early access, and other cool perks, consider becoming a channel member. Link in description. As you heard in the intro, neither Daniel nor the mother of missing Lily and Jack Sullivan have been arrested or even formally named as suspects. So while there's nothing to really report on the investigative side of things, there are some updates on the search side of things. So here's a quick update before we grab our deception decks and start analyzing Daniel's interview.
6-year-old Lily Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack Sullivan were reported missing from their home in Lansdowne Station on May 2nd. This past weekend, ground search and rescue crews were brought back to the area. Nova Scotia RCMP said they returned to focus on specific spots around Gairloch Road and the nearby Pipeline Trail, where a boot print was found during the initial search.
The boot print was on the pipeline, which is why we're extending our search efforts down the pipeline. We don't know for sure it was from the children, but it's the only real thing we've had to go on thus far, so we're just kind of investigating that further.
Hansen said about 65 people were in the woods on Saturday and Sunday, and 3 drones were also deployed to help. RCMP said a total of 8.5 square kilometers has been grid searched, but as of Sunday afternoon, Hansen said there weren't any new finds, and the search was suspended again. Hansen said any decision to bring searchers back depends on the RCMP.
We're always willing to come back if new information comes up, so it's never done, and it's always an open investigation with the RCMP as well. So if they find something that leads us to a new direction, they'll call us back out again.
On Friday, the children's stepfather said their disappearance has taken a toll on him and his family.
Me and my family still go out sometimes and search, but things have been searched that we can really dive into at this time. They have over 12,000 man-hours searched in the woods, and they're planning on doing more, which I'm really grateful for.
So that's where the case stands as of now. And as you can see, the red flags are already flying. For instance, there's no evidence of where Lily and Jack went, even though they supposedly wandered off. Remember, they're not ninjas or Navy SEALs. If they actually did wander into the woods, I would have expected them to find at least something besides a random footprint after such an extensive search. Moreover, there's all the concerning things that Daniel said in that interview, which I've already analyzed, so I'm not going to rehash them here. I'll link my Lily and Jack playlist on the end card. Without further ado, let's watch this new interview.
Reading the words from a page he was handed at a vigil for his missing stepchildren, 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan, Daniel Martell says it brought out a lot of emotions.
They had some RCMP speakers and people from the community, and there was even one guy who drove all the way from Sheet Harbor to come up and show his respect, so I appreciate that.
The children are believed to have wandered away from their home on May 2nd. It's been weeks and not much has turned up since, but Martell is still holding on to hope the children will be found safe.
It doesn't get any easier. I mean, 1 month has passed.
At the vigil, Martell didn't know what to expect, but people came. Strangers stood silent, held candles, and left messages.
What else can you do? It's a way they can show their emotion and as best they can, and that we haven't forgotten.
The children's mother didn't attend the vigil. Martell says the grief has been overwhelming, and online speculation hasn't helped.
2 things before we get into the statement that I played in the intro, where Daniel basically blackmails me and other online commentators. And it's this: the mother is nowhere to be found. She split the day after the kids went missing, which is a giant red flag in itself. Second, I don't like how he said that people drove from afar to pay their respects. A, because it implies that he knows that Lily and Jack are already dead, but also because he seemed to imply that the respects were also being paid to him. And he's not a celebrity or a hero or even a victim as far as I'm aware. In the best case scenario, he's a neglectful step-parent who slept while his children wandered off into the woods. In other words, this might be the first glimmers of duper's delight, or the rush of endorphins people feel when they're getting away with a lie and fooling other people. And we saw it in another famous hoax that's all over TV right now, Sherry Papini. She and her husband Keith acted the same way when they did press, like they were celebrities with a global fan base, rather than victims who were supposed to be asking for help. All right, let's keep listening. And remember, if you feel uneasy in this next part, it's because you're literally being blackmailed.
The children's mother.
Before we get into that, guys, so do you believe that about Daniel, that he thinks he's some kind of celebrity now? I'm just curious. I guess I never thought about it that way, but we know that it happened with Chris, right? I mean, Chris bragged saying, you've gotten more people have tuned in since I've jumped onto your panel today, right? It's like he has some kind of clout or something. Hello, Cheryl, drive safe, hon. So, Yes, Neuro, I agree with you. You know, they have said different things. They've hinted at, you know, is she with someone else? I don't know why they would ever bring up something like that, right? Duper's delight for sure. Yeah, he's liking the attention. I'm the only one speaking for Jack and Lily, right? I broke the internet. Yep, yep, exactly. You know, I don't know how he thinks that he could be so popular so quickly. It's only been a month, but okay. um, let's listen to the rest of it.
Mother didn't attend the vigil. Martell says the grief has been overwhelming and online speculation hasn't helped, especially for their daughter that still lives with her.
Put your focus outward around Malaya and toward the kid. Don't attack Malaya because her mental health is, you know, it's going to be reflected on her daughter. So I don't want anyone attacking Malaya anymore.
The county's warden says he understands a vigil may seem premature to some.
You know, who was the one that started attacking Malaya? Didn't that all kind of begin? I mean, people were questioning, right? But nobody was really attacking her until those text messages came out, and they came from the horse's mouth, didn't they? But now he doesn't want anyone saying anything bad about Malaya. What? He's looking upbeat, healthy, self-grooming. You know, he's only what, 32? He sure has a lot of gray hair for 32. Hello, Bobby. Welcome in. You're entitled to your opinion, right? I mean, you know, all of a sudden, after Malaya's gone, the yard and house start getting picked up. Why? I mean, you know, there's just some weird things going on there. Um, and guys, I will say this. CPS does not take your kids away from you at the drop of a hat. For Daniel and his cousin to say that they don't know why that happened really isn't accurate, because Daniel would have received some kind of papers. Now, maybe his cousin doesn't know because Daniel didn't tell her, but Daniel would know why. He would have had to receive papers as to why. So, his family started the DV stuff with the altercation the police had to break up. Right? So, yeah. He's thinking more of public perception than anything, isn't he? Yeah. They do investigations. There's court orders that have to be done for them to say that he cannot see his daughter, his baby daughter. There's paperwork behind that, guys. So what does that tell you? The mother still has custody. He does not. What does that say? That's just a fact. Okay? That's just a fact. It came out of his own mouth that they said he cannot see her. That's not done lightly, is all I'm saying. There are procedures and protocols that have to be taken. before they'll say that, no, you cannot see your child. All right, let's continue on.
But it's a sign of how deeply the community cares.
I always thought that perhaps it was a little early and perhaps it would show that we were sort of accepting the inevitable and maybe we have to. But I think there was still hope here. I don't think they were giving up.
The RCMP is still investigating this as a missing persons case and is encouraging anyone with information to reach out. Hafsa, RFC-TV News, Stellarton.
I love that clip because it reiterates all three red flags all over again. How quick Daniel is to accept the kid's death when there's no proof of their death. If you've seen my analysis of any innocent parents of missing children, you'll know how rare that is. Second, we have more of Daniel's true colors starting to shine through. Besides the blackmail and the manipulation, which are extremely concerning, we have him acting as though he's in a position to instruct people on what to do online, as if he has a fan base. A neglectful parent whose kids wandered off and got lost on his watch is in no position to instruct me or you or anyone else to do anything. Finally, we have the mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, who I've been convinced is involved in the kid's disappearance ever since I first analyzed her a month ago, not even showing up to the kid's vigil, let alone skipping town the day after they disappeared. But beyond that, and this goes to co-conspirator behavior in general, we have Daniel not even questioning that suspicious behavior, even though it's plain to see to everyone else. And often that's the sign that he knows more than he's letting on. He's keeping a secret. Otherwise, why not question why she's not showing up to the vigil? Why defend her against online speculation if he supposedly knows no?
I think something that Mr. Yummy isn't thinking about here is that she may not be able, to be around Daniel. So if she knew Daniel was going to be there, there might be a protective order, is all I'm saying. And that's something that in my opinion, Mr. Yummy should have taken into context here. She may not be able to. From what I have heard, she was watching it live. I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying that's what I've heard. I'm not saying that Malaya is totally innocent. I don't know that, right? I don't know that. But I am saying there could be extra reasons as to why she wasn't there. And yes, Daniel would know that if there's a protective order, right? If something went down between them two that the police had to break up, she ended up in the ambulance and then left, there's probably a protective order and neither her nor Daniel can break it. So if he was going to that vigil, then she could not go. And that's something that Mr. Yummy, instead of casting shadows on Malaya for that, should have maybe taken into consideration. Just my opinion. Yes. That's correct, K9. They don't believe the children were abducted. And they haven't from the very beginning. I do. I agree with you, K9. I feel that they both know what happened. No, Nero, I disagree with you. There are criteria for Amber Alerts. We cannot have every missing child or children on an Amber Alert. Do I think that the criteria needs to be defined better? I do. But it's kind of a step above the rest. So you cannot have every missing child on an Amber Alert. It just doesn't work that way. All right. Let's
know more than we do. Remember, his and Malaya's story is that they were both drifting in and out of sleep at the time the kids disappeared. So how could he possibly know that Malaya didn't wake up at some point and do something to the kids? Want me to continue analyzing this case? Let me know by liking, commenting, and sharing. Until next time, stay true.
I liked what he said about that Daniel feels he can tell us what to do. You know, don't talk about Malaya, don't. And he did say that a detective told him to make sure those are taken down. Well, that was way too late because everybody had print screens. I even took print screens, but I didn't show them, guys. Why? Because after I looked at them, I take print screens of everything as I'm going through, typically, if I think it's important. But then I look at them again and I contemplate on what I'm going to talk about. And first of all, I felt that it was very controversial. Secondly, I really felt that it doesn't help find Jack and Lily. And basically, all it was doing was painting Malaya as the bad guy. And I didn't feel like that was going to solve anything. So that's why I didn't show them, guys. And after all the garbage that went on about it, I'm glad I didn't. I am so glad I didn't. Because that started the drama in Jack and Lily's case. And we can always point to what was the catalyst that started the drama in Jack and Lily's case, right? I'm sure if we went back, we could probably figure out what was the catalyst that started the drama in Sebastian's case. I haven't really given it that much thought or dug into it, but I'm sure we could find that. But in this case, I know exactly what started it. And I'm not gonna I don't want to address it. It just isn't worth it. Yeah, he would have been served documents, so he knows why he can't see his daughter and why she has custody and she's not talking to him. I think the reason she's not talking to him is a protective order. I really feel that. Yeah, he's acting like he has no idea, but we all know that he does. He knows exactly what happened. He knows why he can't see his daughter, and he knows why Malaya won't talk to him. Right? So, protective orders, child custody, restrainment orders, those kind of things are all documented and they're sent to the person, the person or persons involved. They always are. The only thing that I will say is that I honestly believe CPS orders and reports should always be sent to every parent involved, in my opinion, because Seth never had access to what was going on at the Proudfoot home, and that's wrong. He had joint custody, joint physical custody. He should have been made privy to that information. But what do you guys think? Do you think that that's kind of like emotional blackmail? That he's trying to tell everybody, no, don't talk about Malaya, don't. In my opinion, oddly enough, he's only making himself look worse. We've all felt that she's had some culpability because of the first interview that she did, right? And the way that she spoke. But she shut up and kind of went off the radar, right? He keeps talking. So, yeah, it was a huge failure for Seth. I would not be surprised if there are not some lawsuits after Sebastian's case is all said and done, honestly. And I wouldn't blame him in the very least. Not at all. Because he should have been made aware of what was going on. And we haven't even seen the reports yet, but he has. Daniel likes attention. He does. He does. Maybe he's looking for a new partner. But yeah, maybe he's looking for a new partner. He's wearing that chain around his neck, and I don't know what that means to him. Maybe Malaya gave it to him. I mean, I don't know, but seems like it's important to him because he wears it all the time. And he always has it outside of his shirt, it's never inside. Guys I know that wear necklaces, most of them don't pay attention to whether the chain is on the inside or the outside of their shirt. You ever notice that Daniel's chain is always on the outside of his shirt? Not for me. Sounds like Malaya needed to get away from him a whole lot sooner. Maybe. She knows something too, guys. I feel like she has some guilty knowledge as well. I don't know what it is. It could be, I don't know what it is. Just that all of a sudden she's, I don't know. Mr. Charming by the beaches and the waterfalls. Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Charming, all right. Oh my goodness. I'm going to show you a picture. Let's see. I can find it. This one. All right. Here's Mr. Charming. He's free if anybody wants him. First stop on my way home. Something about him feels off to me. I never understood why she left right away, but maybe she had to go. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the RCMP told her to leave. I mean, this is speculation, right, guys? But I'm thinking, well, didn't the cousin say that the baby had to go? Well, that kind of, they're going to want the baby and the mom to go, right? So, fed up Buttercup. Welcome in. Looks like a muskrat. Good picture, Mr. Pokemon. Yeah, I do too. I pray to God Malaya is talking to the authorities, telling the truth of what she knows. You know, no matter how difficult it is, no matter what the truth is, because it's always better, no matter the consequences, to tell the truth. I mean, you can get a plea deal if you're guilty of anything, right? Sometimes. A caption, something smells fishy. How about big catch of the day? Oh my goodness. Yeah, oh, hi Tracy. uh so yeah, I hope that she is telling the truth, honestly. I really do. Um, you know, him, I sure in that video again I heard dive in and it just made me cringe. I big stink of the day. uh, um, I don't know. Hearing those words, I'm running waist deep in the water. I'm yelling until my throat hurts or something, and we can dive in and we're gonna figure this out. I tell ya, what did Greg Hartley call it? A concealed confession? Is that what he said yesterday? It just really makes you wonder. Yeah, he's really proud of that fish. He's even, I mean, that's the most I've seen him smile. Fishing for my fans. You guys are giving me some good YouTube titles. um, Fishing for my fans. That's funny. he lives near the ocean, and that's what he catches. Oh, oh my goodness. Yeah. Did he get that out of the sardine can? Could be. I don't know. It looks like he's outside. There's a huge basin of water that is only 45 minutes from Daniel's place. And the ocean's only like an hour and a half away. So I can't tell by the look on his face if fish stinks or armpit. I don't know. His nose is closer to the armpit, so probably both. Oh, I don't know. The more I see this guy, the more he gives me the creeps, is all I gotta say. You know, is he 100% responsible? I don't know, but there are a lot of red flags. And I do believe he's got guilty knowledge of what happened with the kids. So I believe they both know something. But the only thing that I will say is that I don't think that Mr. Yummy took into consideration that there could very well be a protective order. Something's fishy. Exactly, something's fishy. We've got a red flag there on the left-hand side. There are big red flags. There definitely are. That very well could be Ginger. He says, to me, it seems like there was a plan to discredit Malaya and her family as soon as she left with the baby. Yeah. Is this whole mental illness stuff a ploy to make him look good in the courts in regards to getting his daughter? I mean, guys, there could be more going on here than what we know. He's the only one that has said anything about her mental health. I mean, he even had bio grandma say, well, that's not like her. She's a good mother. Does she have postpartum depression? He's saying, oh, it's worse than that. You know, she only brought it up because she's wanting to believe what he's saying. And, you know, so there may be nothing at all wrong with her other than she's brokenhearted about her children, and she's really upset with herself that she had anything to do with this man. And in my opinion, his ego was hurt. Bobby. I'm not going to put that on the screen. But I get what you're saying. You're entitled to your opinion. Please put IMO behind your things. Thank you. But yeah, now, I mean, he said he's not going to talk anymore to mainstream media. What does that mean? Does that mean he's only going to talk to YouTubers? That's a scary thought. So I don't know, right? Is he going to go silent all of a sudden? No worries, Bobby. I'm not saying you should shut up at all by any means. Just put IMO behind your behind your thoughts. It's a safe place. Okay, I'm going to try to get it right. Okay, so in Canada, they call them soothers. I call them pacifiers, or what did I say? Somebody called them suckers. Binkies, nooks. Yeah, Binky. Binky, and another one that just came to me is Nook, and I don't know why, but yeah. So we were calling them all kinds of things. Oh Lord, if I see him on the obstacle channels, my head will explode. Oh my gosh. Well, he's got at least one channel that likes him, right? That believes him. So we know that. I would love to hear what Malaya has to say. Yeah, I mean, Malaya, I don't know. It would be interesting to hear now what she has to say, because I think that her and Daniel had this script of what they were saying on the day that this happened, or the day after, when they both spoke with media. I really feel, because they both had the script, they were dozing off and blah, 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 right? They had a script that they were doing. And so, yeah, it would be interesting to hear now what her true thoughts are, right? What are her true thoughts out from her heart, from her own mind? But she has a lawyer now, guys, so we know that she's probably not going to speak. No, it's not. And I don't like that it's Martell, because it's too close to Markel, which I talk about Dan Martell, who is a victim. And this guy, I'm not quite sure what he is. A fisherman. He's a fisherman. That's all I'll say. He likes to fish. He did win a fishing award, guys. I mean, he did. So, see if I can find it. One of these days, I have to rearrange my pictures so I know where where things are. Seems like I never have the time. All right. Here it is. There. He won. He was the only member to post 6 different species of fish. And that one's a little bigger than the other one. And oh, there's more of a smile on his face there. So, yeah. I liked and if you didn't see last night's video, I encourage you to watch it, because Greg Hartley from the behavior panel talks about how when Dan was talking, there was contempt. And he was actually showing, his mouth was going up in contempt when he was talking about Malaya. Exactly. Now we all know why he only works 1 day a week. That could very well be. The RCMP shared information with Malaya. That's why she changed her Facebook so quickly. Maybe she's scared. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much information they give her, though, typically, because if it's a ongoing investigation, they're not going to share a lot, I wouldn't think. But I don't know. I don't know. But seriously, if you go to the Lunker Trunk Facebook page and look at the pictures, you'll find Daniel in a bunch of them, I think in 2018, 2019. So he definitely likes to fish and he likes to be in contests for fish. So I bet they ate a lot of fish. Yay for them. Oh, I like fish once in a while, but I'm not a huge fish eater. Yeah, the criminal investigation began on day 2. Definitely. I wish we knew what kind of you're right, Neryl. It all comes back to water, doesn't it? You don't get that size of fish just anywhere, guys. Right? I mean, you just don't. So when you're looking at, being an avid fisherman and you live close to the ocean, you're using words like dive in, running waist deep in water. You know, it he would know where to go. Look at that one. Those are big fish, guys. I got those all off a Lunker Trunk. Plus, he has a Bass Pro Shop t-shirt on. Yep, dive in, waist deep water. He's running in. He probably bought those. He's on a lake, goodness sakes. Yeah, the black flies and the ticks didn't seem to bother Daniel. Nope. Not at all. So, I don't know, guys. I want to go back to that point where he said that. Take that off of there. But I want you to hear that again. I don't want anyone attacking her anymore. Her mental health
Put your focus outward around Malaya and toward the kids. Don't attack Malaya because her mental health is, it's going to be reflected on her daughter. So I don't want anyone attacking Malaya anymore.
The county's warden said
her mental health will be reflected on our daughter. I still might reserve my opinion so they both know something. Beyond that, RCMP will need to change my mind. It's only my opinion, which means nothing in finding the kids. And you're right, K9. I think Daniel is a catalyst to finding the kids, but I don't know that we're going to find them. I'm really afraid this water reference garbage is scaring me. It really is. What's your feelings on his mom and brother in the RV there on this? Okay, so it's been said that the brother doesn't live on the property. Having said that, how often is he there? He only lives not very far away, just down the road. And I've heard rumors about the brother. I can't go into why. I'm not going to, because it's hearsay and I have nothing to back it up. The mother is the one that, according to Daniel, if we're going to believe Daniel, told them to get off the property. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Did the RCMP tell Malaya to leave with the baby? I mean, I don't know, guys. I know that Malaya's mom was there and that allegedly she got into an altercation, but we don't know exactly what happened, right? Because I don't think everyone is being 100% truthful. I agree, Ginger. He wants to tell everyone and not pick on Malaya yet. It was his text messages that started the threats against her. I agree with you, K9. It's all about the children, and I really hope Daniel and Malaya both proved me wrong. Yeah. I agree. I think she has to know something. She lived on that property. You tell me she didn't hear the kids leave or see them leave or see what happened. Because, guys, they have combed those woods. There's no sign. There's no backpack. There's no boots found. There's nothing. So I don't believe they walked into those woods. Just like Sebastian, I think they were carried away from the home. What about her kids? Forget about the cats, dogs, and the chickens. What about taking care of her kids? Getting up to make sure they had breakfast. She was up at 6:17 or whatever time it was to email the school or call the school and leave a voicemail, whatever it was. Emails, I think Daniel said, to let them know the kids weren't going to be at school. So why didn't she get up and feed her kids and start taking care of them? I don't know. I think at the very least, we've got some negligence going on with both Mom and Daniel. That's the very least. There's some negligence going on there, right? For sure. And, you know, did Daniel's mom, did they not lock that sliding door because Daniel's mom would come in and out? Like maybe if she got cold, she'd just come in for the night or something. I don't know. I don't know what their home life was like with that situation. Well, they were seen on the 1st. So if something happened before May 2nd, it could only been after 3:15 when they were seen on May 1st. Yeah, Daniel's mother was in the trailer, said she was napping and didn't wake up until Daniel started yelling for the children. So she was napping in the morning. Do you see how this is the terminology they are using, guys? She was napping in the morning. They were dozing in and out of sleep. What the heck? What's going on with these people? Just some really strange terminology going on there, and you know that the RCMP picked up on it. She was napping in the morning. Funny, they all supposedly sleeping that morning. I don't believe it happened in daylight. Another midnight rendezvous, like Sebastian's 3 a.m. rendezvous. You know, wouldn't it be interesting to find out that it was 3 a.m.? The liar's number, that something happened to these kids. Oh my gosh. You know what just dawned on me, guys? Didn't they say that they were last seen on camera at 3:15 in public on May 1st? There's that 3 number. But that's not a lie. It's weird, though. Very weird. 3 a.m. Liars Club, right? But that was truthful because RCMP put that out there. That's not a lie that happened. They got that video at that time. It's just weird that it's the 3 o'clock hour, right? It's kind of scary if you think about it. So I was kind of surprised when I watched the video and Mr. Yummy portrayed that sentence as emotional blackmail. I guess I never thought of it like that. And him just coming right out and telling us, don't go after her, right? And as far as that, I'm not, I'm not going after her. There's nothing to say about her other than what we can say. Well, hello, Hyanker Splonker. Good to see you. What are the allegations? Well, we're just talking. Yeah, there was proof of life. No. 3:15 on May 1st, they were seen in public with family members. That was the last time they were publicly seen, was 3:15 on video on May 1st. Yeah, emotional blackmail happens in a lot of DV cases. That's really true. It surprises me that I don't pick up on it. Makes me wonder what work I have to do on myself. Honestly, that I don't pick up on that stuff because basically, Hyanker, we were going over what Deception Detective talked about as far as Daniel Martell, saying that, well, I'll play it one more time.
Put your focus outward around Malaya and toward the kids. Don't attack Malaya, because her mental health is, it's going to be reflected on her daughter. So I don't want anyone attacking Malaya anymore.
The county's warden said.
So deception detective believes that that's emotional blackmail. And that Daniel doesn't have a right to tell any of us what to do. Not that I can't speak for anybody else, but here at this channel, we're not attacking anybody. We're not even attacking Daniel. We are just trying to look at the red flags in this case, which there are a lot of them. So it's interesting. And I agree that he doesn't have a right to tell us anything. I think it's awful that he's saying that when people attack Malaya, it's going to reflect on his daughter, that her mental health is going to be a problem for their daughter. And that's awful. That's like making us guilty of, I don't know. But I will just say I don't receive that. I don't receive it. Because I haven't attacked her. If anybody attacked her, he did in his text messages. So yeah. And that's the thing. Turned into a family court case so quickly. Yeah. And it's sad. Did he say her daughter? I thought he said our daughter. I'm going to listen to that again. Listen closely, guys.
Put your focus outward around Malaya and toward the kids. Don't attack Malaya, because her mental health is, it's going to be reflected on her daughter. So I don't.
He said our daughter. Her mental health is going to be reflected on our daughter, he said. Sorry, Nero. The closed caption says her, but he did say our. So yeah, it's, he has no right to get up there and say that to anybody. I don't know if the RCMP told him to do that because of those texts that went out that he wrote, that he was responsible for. He's gone out of his way to make Malaya look mentally ill. Is that so the RCMP won't take what she says seriously? Possibly. Is it to try to get his daughter back? Court of law? By trying to make her look mentally ill? John Paul Miller did that with his wife, right? We've seen it. Such an odd thing, almost like he's trying to justify that the kids were difficult because of Malaya. Might be reading too deep, a very odd thing to say. Yeah. Who knows what he's trying to say there, right? But deception detective, or Mr. Yummy, as everyone likes to call him here, he's right. He's trying to put it on us when he's the one that started it. No worry, Neuro. Do you want to hear it again? He's giving me bad guy vibes. Yeah. Tell you what, I'm going to turn off the closed captioning because sometimes that affects the way we think. I'll turn off the closed captioning, play it again, and see if you can hear it.
Her mental health is, it's going to be reflected on her daughter. So I don't want anyone attacking Malay anymore.
The county's
Did that help, Neuro? I hope it did. It is really hard. You have to really listen to it, and you're right. It could be the accent as well. Because even closed captioning thought it said her. But yes, I don't know. The more that I see him, and it's like Mr. Yummy said in the beginning, he's finally starting to show his true colors. And the more that we're seeing him, and isn't that the way that it went in Sebastian Rogers' case, right, guys? The more interviews that Chris and Katie did, the more inconsistencies we saw. The more panels he jumped on, the more anger we saw. And it helped us to make a determination in our minds about what they were like, right, as people. And that's what's happening here now. Is Daniel going to quit talking? Well, if he does, then we have nothing more. Yeah, poor Seth, I agree. Then we have nothing more to go by, right? And we just have to wait for our CMP. But I don't know. In Seth's case, or in Sebastian Rogers' case, Chris couldn't help himself. They were quiet for a while, but then he he got triggered and he couldn't help himself. Is that what's going to happen with Daniel? Is he going to get triggered? Not going to be able to help himself? I don't know. Right? I don't know. Allegedly Daniel did reach out or answered an inquiry by messenger and talked and kind of put down Malaya. And there was a whole big rigmarole with that, and this is all alleged. Is that what he's going to do? Is he just going to, I don't know. Yeah, exactly, Bobby. He is the only one that's ever said anything about her mental health. Which, don't get me wrong, mental health is a serious issue in our country. And across the board, if someone doesn't get the help they need, they end up taking their own lives or the lives of others 9 times out of 10. And that's never a good thing. But we don't know that she has any mental health issues at all. because I don't know about you guys, but at this point, I've seen enough red flags from Dan Martell that I'm not going to be too quick to believe what he has to say at this point. Yes. Since they have broken up, can we stop calling him a stepfather now? I would like to hope so. I would like to hope so. I mean, I just say him by his name. The man who lived with Jack and Lily Sullivan. I'm sure Malaya doesn't think of him as a stepfather anymore, so why should we? I'm just saying, guys. Right? Why should we? I did want to share my grannyism today. Emotional blackmails and psychological threats are the feces of a rotten soul. It's pretty graphic, isn't it? It's now referred to as the X. All right, he's known as the X here on our channel, okay? I should have put a poop emoji on this graphic. It is true, though. Emotional blackmails and psychological threats are the feces of a rotten soul. Does that help you see Daniel? Does that, does that, oh, does that help you see Daniel any better, guys? Well, let's see the poop emojis. Oh my goodness. Oh. Maybe I need to remake that fish. Maybe I need to remake this one and just put a poop emoji there in place of the fish. Fish poop. Oh my goodness. Take that fish out of his fingers and put a poop emoji there. Oh my gosh. I wish I would have been thinking. Armpit fish or poop. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Bobby. Oh my goodness. Sometimes my grannyisms are right on, and this one, when I saw it today, just hit me. You know, not only is it true, but it is so funny. I can't help it. I can't help it. A rotten soul. Oh, well, if that's the case, I'm sure that RCMP will. I'm glad you like us, Tracy. We're happy to have you here. I agree with you, Neuro. Um, she's not responded at all. I think that she's not supposed to, though. So, you know, I really do feel like there's a protective order. Um, and I don't think I'm wrong about that. So if there is, she's not going to say anything, right? But that's got to be rough, because boy, you know, when you've got your ex standing up there saying her mental health's going to reflect on our daughter, oh, I'd like to knock him down with my words, you know. You're welcome, Fed Up. When we try to have fun, these cases are so dark that I try my best. You know, some days I'm just not feeling up to it, but I try my best to keep the laughter going, because, you know, all we're listening to is emotional blackmail, psychological threats. We're listening to garbage and horrible things happening to children, and that's dark, right? So if we can find something to laugh about, then we need to laugh. Yeah, she took great advice from her lawyer, and who is he to say she has mental problems? Exactly. You call your cat Pooper Hunker. Protective orders are usually in place for 6 months, and then they are reviewed. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you don't know what she lived through, right? She was secluded. Guys, that is one characteristic of a controlling person, a person who is a DV violator, right? They seclude their victim. They stop them from having any kind of contact, or limit any kind of contact with anyone outside of their initial environment that he wants them to be in. They use emotional blackmail, psychological threats, and when all else fails, let's resort to physical violence, right? Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's hard to watch, isn't it? It breaks my heart, you know. And now that I've started spotlighting missing children, it breaks my heart all the more. I cannot believe how many missing children there are, and parents are not on the media talking about them. There's nothing else other than on the National Missing Persons Registry about these kids. Not even a local newspaper article. And it's time and time and time again that I see that. What is wrong with the parents that they are not pushing for their children to be found? It breaks my heart. That's almost as bad as having parents who threaten and do harm and lawsuits to keep their child from being found. Daniel is gaslighting the public. He ain't pulling wool over Granny's eyes. No, he's not. I've I've been around. This whole Granny's been around. He's not gonna pull the wool over my eyes at all. Gaslighting, exactly. They catch that guy that did that to no, not yet. And you are talking about Travis Decker. No, as of just before I went on my live, they haven't caught him yet. I've been watching. So, yeah. So far, he's escaped capture. We should do a red flag show on how to recognize signs of DV. Yeah. Yeah. His 3 little girls, so precious. Guys, I can't even tell you how precious his 3 little girls were. Let's see. Here's a picture of mom with the 3 little girls. Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia. Very sad. Very sad. There is one really good thing that happened. They did a GoFundMe and they have raised hundreds of thousands. I mean, like, I think it was over $500,000, guys, for their funerals. So people were very generous. Very generous. Me too, Bobby. I hope you enjoyed it too. Teenage girls need that book of red flags. That's true. See why you have the name? Because you're absolutely fed up. I hear you. I hear you. Yes, he's on foot. I mean, as far as we know, Buttercup, he did ditch his truck. They found the truck. It's almost $1 million now. Yeah, I believe that. So, yeah. Very sad story, and I hope that they catch him. I really thought that he had gone deeper in the woods and taken his own life, but I don't know. You know, they did say they thought there was a sighting, but I don't know if it's been verified. So, the mother is saying that he did not get the help he needed by the vets. Here's what I'm going to say about that. I mean, I'm glad that she has a good heart, right? She does. And she's not totally defending him, so don't get me wrong. But she's blaming the vets for not getting him the help he needed. However, here's what I'm going to say. My husband was a vet. He did get help. He had PTSD, right? You need continuous help with that. He's also an alcoholic. He's been in and out of rehab, guys. So, I don't know what they experienced, but I have a feeling he was court ordered to get mental health, to take mental health classes. And he was also court ordered to take anger management classes. And he refused to sign the order. So I'm going on record and saying that help is there if you really want it. I'm not going to be so quick to judge the VA because I don't believe that that man wanted help. That's all I'm going to say about that. And I see that Ginger is educating you guys on the Micmac Children's Services and the tribe and all that. She's told me all about it as well, which is important, you know. So, but as far as the Decker family here, like I said, it's awesome that she has a heart, you know, that cares about her husband, but I don't think she should be blaming the VA, especially when he refused to sign an agreement stating that he needed to get mental health classes and anger management classes. That tells you he didn't want help. And now he's done for. You know, when he's caught, he'll be going to jail, prison for the rest of his life. You know, and now she's left without those 3 precious kids. That's sad. It's really sad. So, that's really all I had for today, guys. I just wanted to touch base on what Mr. Yummy had to say. And we had our good laugh for the day, right? So, guys, please hit the like button if you haven't already on your way out. Make sure you change that notification bell to all so that you're notified when we do go live. I was busy today. I did 2 extra videos on day 1 of the Lori Vallow trial. Oh, I can show you something really quick on that one. Let me to show you what happened to Lori Vallow today. So yeah, I did two videos on the Lori Vallow trial, and actually we've got her son Kobe Ryan. I watched his videos so that he was chiming in, and so you got his take not only on what happened in the trial, Lori's opening arguments, but then Brandon Boudreaux's arguments as well, or testimony. But I'll show you really quickly before we go what happened, just a little tiny excerpt of what happened in court today with Lori Vallow.
All right, please be seated. The jury is no longer present.
So they sent the jury out.
A record's been made. I would just caution the defendant again. She
I'm
needs to be
sorry if
very
it's hard
careful.
to hear. The sound isn't great.
Getting into areas that could open a huge door that I don't think she wants open. I'm going to make another record at 10:24 to 10:25. We held a sidebar that I don't think made it onto the court record. That sidebar again discussed similar issues of if the defendant brings in evidence or testimony that she was a good person and no ill intent and those sorts of things, and specific acts of her being a good person, it could open the door to other things that she may not want the door open to. The state, the defendant, and advisory council were at the bench when we had that short 1 minute sidebar, but I don't know if anyone wants to supplement the record on that. Ms. Kay?
Just, Your Honor, that again, the state did raise any issue of character evidence under 404A and 405, that if the defendant opens the door and tries to advise that she's a good person, a peaceful person, a kind person, a loving person, any of those other types of things, that we believe that would allow us under 405 to then bring in specific acts such as the murder of her children, her husband, and her current husband's wife.
All right.
Which would also be 404B that they withdrew.
And that would be 405.
Yeah, they withdrew it, but if you bring up 404 that you...
Then all 404B is in, or do we get a hearing on what 404B can come in? If I open the door, do I get a hearing? We stop trial and I get a hearing on...
Stop. We'll have a very short hearing, okay? If you're going to introduce how you have great character and good character, we're going to have a short hearing on what evidence that they can bring in to rebut that character, which could include being convicted of 4 murders. So
And would you
talk
like...
to your advisory council during the break. And
You don't need to yell at me either.
yelling at you, okay?
Yeah, you are, and you do not need to talk to me that way. I'm very courteous.
Figure out.
I'm very courteous to you.
Figure out. No, you have been nothing near courteous to me during the course of these proceedings. Talk with your advisory council about the rest of your cross. We're going to resume in 15 minutes.
All right.
So the judge kicked her out of the courtroom today, guys. So and when she came back in, she did apologize. She was trying to make herself look good. She is she is cross-examining Brandon Boudreaux today, and she's trying to make herself look like she's a kind and loving and caring and wonderful, beautiful person. And judge finally got fed up because she, they kept objecting and sustaining and objecting and sustaining. And I mean, in my opinion, they should have just let the 404 come in and let it all out about her other prior convictions and show that, yes, she did red rum her 2 children and her husband and conspired to red rum her new husband's wife. And now she's on trial for conspiring to red rum her niece's husband. So that's how good of a person that she is. I think they should let it all in because she's doing this to herself. But she came in and she apologized after that. So, but I just wanted to show you a quick clip of Lori getting told off by the judge and getting taken out of court. Yes, her last grand performance isn't going so well. This is it for her, guys. See, she's, after this, she's in prison for the rest of her life. No more getting to come out and wear suits and act like she's Miss Queen Bee, right? And I realize what I just said, but that's okay. You guys know what I mean. And on that note, I left you laughing. We will see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granny'scrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.